Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I would like to start today by thanking those opposite for this intriguing MPI that you've put up today. With your record, I'm still scratching my head as to why you've even gone here. I mean, it's interesting how quickly you forget the carnage that you guys have all left behind. I would like to remind those opposite that it was under their government that we've seen record waste. Let us not forget it was Labor that turned nearly $50 billion in the bank into a projected net debt well over $200 billion.
Shame.
And let us not forget it was under their watch we saw the fastest deterioration in debt in dollar terms as a share of GDP in modern Australian history. It was their plan that we saw gross debt projected to rise up to $667 billion and $123 billion in cumulative deficits. And it is under this Labor debt, this legacy, this amazing plan that this Labor Party has left us, that is now costing us around $10 billion a year in net interest payments. They are the ones who put the handbrake on the economy. They are the ones that promised there would be no carbon tax under a government I lead. Yet they forged ahead and brought in a carbon tax and the mining tax. They talk about jobs at Qantas. What about the $106 million a year jobs at Qantas, the carbon tax is costing Qantas? It is this carbon tax that is hurting so many small businesses. 412,000 jobs in small businesses is what the Minister for Small Business said earlier. As for the terrible twosome, my esteemed Western Sydney neighbours, the honourable members from McMahon and Chifley, where was their jobs for Western Sydney? In my electorate of Lindsay, 2/3 of my working population have to commute every single day for jobs, 1/3 to the city and 1/3 into Greater Western Sydney. The people of Western Sydney, time and time again, have been forgotten by those opposites. For too long, successive Labor governments have shirked their responsibility of providing the vital infrastructure to this key region. And let us all remember, it was the former Labor Premier, Bob Carr, who they then put in the Senate, who stated Sydney is full. Such statements are most unhelpful to employment growth in my region. In fact, the last piece of major road infrastructure delivered to the people of Western Sydney was the M4, which was delivered under the Howard government, and may I remind you all, it was delivered on time and under budget. Maybe the member for McMahon missed this as well, but in December last year, it was the O'Farrell coalition government that approved a major meat packing factory processing unit in Erskine Park, which happens to be in his own electorate. This facility within Western Sydney employment area will process 2,000 tonnes of bulk refrigerated red meat and poultry each week. Further, the meat will be graded, cut, repacked, labelled and distributed to the retail market by truck. Construction of the $134 million facility will employ 650 people, while ongoing operation will create 400 jobs. Perhaps the Shadow Treasurer should look to his own backyard. Perhaps the Shadow Treasurer also missed the announcement by the Treasurer today that the economy has grown by 0.8%. More proof that the Abbott government is getting on with the job with building a stronger economy. More proof the coalition has a plan to stimulate growth in this economy. The best thing the government can do is to help the people of Western Sydney is to abolish the carbon tax. A carbon tax the Labor Party just stand in the way of.
Time allocated for this MPI has expired.